What's up and welcome to this episode of How Not to Summon a Dungeon Master. Season 1, the wrap-up show. So we're just here to basically have a bit of a chat about how Season 1 of The Witcher, our first D&D show, went. Really.
Little chin waggy.
Just a little chat to sort of talk about all the highs and lows of the Season 1 and what we thought was good, what we didn't.
Mainly lows.
Mainly lows. And Fran isn't with us. She was unable to come today. But we'll discuss some of Fran's moments as well while we're here, because I'm sure we can remember.
She was involved, yeah.
To highlight.
She was present, yes.
Well, firstly, how do we feel like Season 1 went?
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's the first campaign that I have been a player and got through a chunk for fucking decades.
Yeah, I mean...
I'm always the DM.
It was D&D that I mashed some Witcher World rules into, basically. I just took some aspects from Witcher 3, a game that I love and played a lot, and I just tried to sort of fuse it all together and make it make sense.
I mean, that was the conversation we had when we formed up this first campaign. And you said, I'd really like to try doing a Witcher campaign. And I think you, Grayson, had said that there was Witcher campaigns
There is an
online
official Witcher tabletop rules.
There is now, yeah.
Yeah, they've been out for a couple of years.
I did study them and look at them, and they are complex.
They're highly praised.
They are. They're very complex, and it would be we wanted to jump into it quickly, so I didn't have the luxury of trying to learn those mechanics. And I was new to D&D, really. I'd only played one campaign properly
And you'd
prior
never
to doing
done
it.
D&D.
And I'd never Dungeon Mastered. This was my first ever time being a Dungeon Master.
How'd you find it?
Difficult. Definitely difficult, but the enjoyment you get out of being put on the spot and having to create something and actually succeeding.
I'm pulling it off.
You genuinely get such a kick out of running off your own imagination.
That's why I love being on that side of the screen.
Yeah.
I find it more rewarding.
Absolutely.
I think the players have it harder than a DM.
I think they do, because they're the ones that have to literally summarise what they're going to do all the time.
DMs moan all the time about prep time, but prep time is a couple of hours here and there.
I was going to say, my prep time was very little. Yeah. I ran off of my memory of the game, and how I could fuse them together was just on the spot every single time. Most of the towns you saw in the campaign were just on the spot. I knew roughly where I wanted you to go, but that was it.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah,
that's it.
You're a true DM then.
That is honestly,
flying by the seat of your pants.
100%. Most of the time, it was definitely that. I knew the general missions I wanted you to do, but that was it. Getting you to them, I was like, I'm sure I'll find a way to make them do them. But even that's difficult at times.
It is. Circling back players.
How long did you spend actually setting up the campaign?
Not long. Not long. Few hours. That's it.
But that's sort of a good DM.
That's it. And I'm saying, like, I would plan only a few episodes ahead at a time as well.
And
it wasn't like I had the full season planned out in one hit. It was, I'll get us to the next point, and then I'll see how I want to play the next bit. Because it changes every single time.
You've got to, because of the reaction of the players.
I don't think you can plan out a full start to finish thing.
No, you can't.
Because there's so many divergence.
This is, when I write stories, this is why I have bullet points, but no map on how to get to them.
Yes.
I find that's the easiest way to play.
It. You know where you want them to go.
And
it's
it
just
also
getting them there.
Gives the players freedom to, between those bullet points, do whatever they want to do.
I think if you were to force somebody to go from A to B...
You may as well just watch a video.
I was going to say, it would become absolutely
That's
pointless.
a railroaded video game. Go do that. It's not what D&D's about.
I couldn't imagine you like players wanting to do other things and you're like, no, you can't do that.
No.
I just let them play.
How many times did you lie about what roles you got?
Oh, never.
Never?
No, my roles were genuine every time.
A few times.
Every time. My
Do you not remember when he started doing them? I was like, oh, fuck off with your natural 20s.
No, I got my dice taken away from me.
Yes, you did.
Because I was rolling too many 20s.
Yeah.
And what happened once we changed those dice?
Every roll
the game balanced out.
Yeah.
Every roll I ever did was in front of you guys with a die.
It was.
I didn't have a screen to protect me either.
No, you didn't. No.
We were throwing shit at him and everything.
No,
I had nothing.
The unofficial DM rulebook is to lie about your roles to better the story or the players. and make it balanced.
I mean,
or
that makes sense.
But you didn't really
lie
have to.
about the health of your monster to make it interesting. Or
I did change the health of monsters.
Yeah.
Because they were, when we got to the fight, I realised that they were too powerful.
Yeah, and you'll
The
do that all the
ones I
time.
created.
And the quickest fix is just go, I'm going to knock a bit of health off.
That's
there.
all I did. Is I saw what damage my monster was doing, and I was like, this
Was
is
it a
touch and
drowner?
go.
Was it
And it should
the
be
ghouls,
touch
by
and
any
go, though.
chance?
No, the ghouls. The perfect example is when you guys fought the ghouls. I left them as is. I took a few of them away because I thought, I'm overdoing it with like 6 or 7 of them.
Was
So
it the moment when
I'll
both
just
of
give them
these
4.
two...
It was the
buggerlogs-
moment you ran in and was basically ripped to pieces by 4 of them immediately, and I was
Yep.
like, shit. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill the party off very quickly with the lowest level monsters I was gonna throw at them. So, but
we
that
had-
was your mistake. You rolled the 1 and fell into the middle
Oh,
of 4 of them.
absolutely.
So it wasn't. I didn't want you to take 4 on in one go. I was hoping you weren't, but 1 didn't run in and stood pointing while you ran in.
Majestically pointing, I'll have you know.
That's what we're calling it.
Well, remember, I did say they're over there, and he decided to run at them.
Yeah.
Like,
So I mean, you do have to alter things,
Absolutely.
particularly monsters. But I tried to keep combat so light because I really wanted. I get more of a kick, and I'm sure you guys do as well, out of just role playing.
The storytelling is the best part
100%.
of any role-playing game.
And I
It's a
gave you away in
role-playing
50-50s
game.
as
It
well.
is not a combat game. It is a role-playing game.
Yeah.
wait, I had
That's
no
what it is.
warning on my game that I had to roleplay. Where does it say on this that I had to roleplay?
I think that gives everyone a better experience. I think it gives the listeners a better experience, not
It
having
gives
to sit
them-
there listening to combat,
I-
rather the story.
I think it's better that we role-play and do a more serious tone than other podcasts do. Because funny's been done a lot.
A lot. And we didn't want our podcast to be that.
No.
And my campaign was designed to have funny moments, but actually there's some serious storylines in there. There's some puzzles. There's confusing moments where you don't really know what you're going to do.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about
Dead
them
babies.
later.
What was
We
your
will talk about them later.
What was your favourite moment from the campaign?
My favourite moment would have to be when you killed the Dryad. It was something I'd set up, and the speech itself was set up ready for the decision you'd made. Now, I had pre-planned, because obviously the whole thing was a 50-50. And it was the story itself would have taken 2 different paths. I'll talk about my 50-50s later. But
We'll have a spoilers section, I think, for that one.
It-
I think
was-
this whole thing is a spoilers thing.
it was sitting there watching you all be so indecisive because you just didn't know what you were going to do.
I did.
You were playing it over in your head. You were asking so many questions to try and figure out what the right answer was. But I had specifically designed it so it wasn't going to give you the details you needed to make what would have maybe been the right choice. What was your favourite moments?
I love some of the weird villages that you sent me to because they were perfect for my character.
So you had Mudclops, which was It's a Small World village.
Yeah.
Yes,
The very overly happy-go-lucky one.
I
Hated
loved
that.
it. I loved
And
it.
you also
Hated
had
that.
Crookback, which was the village of cultists.
Again, I loved it. Still enjoyed all these different places. That was the thing I really enjoyed doing because
You had the keep, the Baron's keep.
The Baron, that little bit is probably my favourite little bit.
The Baron
I enjoyed
himself.
the Baron, yeah.
And
And the how much... Because I like to stay quiet.
yes.
I think that's what a Witcher would do. They speak when
Analyze.
they need to speak,
Yeah.
and watch these two kind of pop off.
But witches are less emotionally attached to what's
Yeah.
happening. Obviously, we have developed your character to be
Yes.
somewhat different from other witches, and that was obviously given
Yeah.
to you by the Dryad at the end. But
But having a bit where it was relying on me to speak to this Baron,
yeah,
I enjoyed that. It was a good 5 minutes.
it was to try and grip the Witcher and bring out some emotion from the Witcher,
Yeah.
where he couldn't just be like, "I'm after this guy's coin." There's so much complexity to the Baron and his storyline and the actions he's taken. That,
Oh, in the end,
yeah,
when I forced him to bury it.
forced him to carry the child
Yeah.
visibly to all the villagers. But then also the way you treated the Baron when you returned with Anna, his
Yeah.
wife. When you literally, instead of just giving it Anna and going, "Give me the information, we'll leave," it was actually, "No, you need to be better."
Yeah. Or I'll kill you.
Yeah.
Was pretty much it.
That was it. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm trying to think as well. One of my main things that I really enjoyed from the campaign was all the different accents. I loved.
I tried.
Not just. I enjoyed it for all the accents from everybody.
Yeah, the different styles of play.
Yeah, because we do role playing, and we've done role playing before. This was the first time I ever decided I was going to try an accent, and I think it's the first time we, as a group, have really invested into doing
full
voices
accents.
and that.
Yeah. When I do, I'm more descriptive. I tend not to throw voices out there. The Christmas one was a bit different. It was supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
And have a laugh with it. Yeah, the slug was a necessary one, though. That was a light-hearted moment in something that had been horrendous for about 2 months of play.
Yeah. It was, it was
overdue.
A palate cleanser in itself. But I did enjoy the shop and the magical items. The process around getting you guys to try and fucking invest in the magical items that you were so unsure about and did not want to tempt yourself with was difficult.
That's an interesting thing.
just he will come back.
Fuck off with
but
it.
There are like trying to get you guys to understand these items that you just were so weary of you didn't want to touch them.
I didn't want to touch mine at all.
Yes, but so in the end it was forced on you.
Yes, I noticed. DM wanted something and he got it.
So 2 of them have been forced on. There's one still that I've openly allowed you to.
Yeah,
I did enjoy the hat reveal.
Yeah, the hat was good. I enjoyed the hat.
I enjoyed the hat reveal. The hat reveal was brilliant. That it finally could talk to us.
Fran's new to this whole podcasting thing, and I think the hat is a really great way for her to drag her into vocal
which is
situations.
Why out of the 3 items, I thought that's the best one to give her.
Yeah.
Originally, that was going on your head. And then I was like, no, I can't have the Witcher put the hat on. It just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make
and then
sense.
I was like,
what
I can do is I can make Fran converse more by giving her somebody who only she can speak to.
Yeah, even though when we play off mic, and we'd played for years, she was the most vocal all the time. 20 questions all the fucking time.
Yeah.
But you put a mic in front of her, she goes a bit shy.
Killing her and having the hat bring her back was the big reveal for her at that time of like, actually, she's done nothing but moan about this hat, and then suddenly it's shown its worth, as I wanted all the items to do. However, I haven't been able to do it with 2 of them yet. But there's time for all of that.
No, I don't think I will play with that.
So your 50-50 decisions. There was a couple in here that you had during my campaign. The first one you came across, the real proper one, was the Tower of Rats, with the
when we set it on fire.
The spirit that lived within the tower and the diary of the disease that you found. So
spoilers, by the way. If you don't want to know,
I mean, if they're listening to this,
they're listening to this is the end of season. They shouldn't be anywhere near this if they haven't finished the campaign.
So basically, you had a choice with this diary, and you had the choice to hand the journal, the ledger. You had a choice to hand that to the witch, to Kira Metz, and let her be on her way. You could have done anything with her. You could have challenged her. You could have fought her. I wouldn't have advised it. You saw how powerful she was early on in the campaign. You could have fought her. But you did what they can do in the game. You took the journal off of her. You said, no, you're not doing that. However, we will give you a chance to leave the place that you want to leave. And you offered her to go to Kaer Morhen, which was a great decision. Or you could have sent her on her way, and she obviously would have delivered the journal to King Radovid, and that doesn't happen in the game, and I would have fucking had to have come up with something that happens around
Go
that.
into panic mode.
That would have been a later me problem, but it would have been a huge later me problem.
No, that would have been a later him problem.
It would have been a later party problem, 100%.
Yeah.
But you had that choice, and you made the right choice. But you also had the choice to bring her lover, Christoph. I think his name was Christoph, because we made some jokes about him having a reindeer.
Yeah.
So you could have brought him to her rather than take her body to him. And obviously you took her body to him and she killed him. You sort of rubbed your hands at that.
No skin off my nose.
If you'd have brought her to him to her, he still would have died. However, the moment itself would have been more of a romantic moment where he gave his life up willingly rather than have her kill him.
Nah.
That was not that world.
Not that world.
So,
I am more than happy to chuck a corpse into a room and shut the door and see what happens.
Your only other massive 50-50 was the Dryad, where you could have spared their life, freed them from the tree. Anna would have died, so the witches, out of anger, because the Dryad would have freed the children and saved the children.
Save the children.
Save the children. She would have saved the children, but she would have killed Anna. And then, if the Baron had found out that Anna was dead, would have killed himself, which would have left his keep to the slimy rat man,
the little shit,
his second hand, who would have took over. That's the repercussions that you would have had. But also, the Dryad would have come back and taken on the witches again and tried to free the lands. But instead, you freed the witches, which is another later you problem.
That sounds like a future me problem.
So the witches will be back.
That sounds like a future Kira Metz problem.
Why would that be? Well, they're not really witches, are they? But I did make subtle hints to that throughout the campaign, that these aren't actual witches. That's just the name given to them because they portray themselves as humans.
Yeah. Damn witch bitches.
So, but you'll see their true forms and what they're really like later on, I'm sure.
I'm
We'll
fine
bring
with
that
that.
up. Is there anything you're looking forward to going forward from the campaign?
I know what Novigrad's like.
Any expectations? So obviously we ended with you entering the
I don't
massive
have any
city.
expectations. No, I'm looking forward to those character-changing moments that ultimately look like nothing.
Yes. But they're subtle.
Unplanned. That's the things I'm looking forward to doing and injecting little bits of those.
But you got the freedom to do it, haven't you? So.
Yeah, like the Baron and how I dealt with his wife and handing her back, the lashings.
Yep.
Dealing with humans.
Taking on a journal now as well, and realising the repercussions of the decision you made by killing the Dryad, what I think was a big hit. And that showed when you guys left. And I was like, do you want to converse about what's just happened? And you all went, no.
Yeah.
None of us want to say a word to each other.
Subtle little character growthy pits.
Yeah.
That's the meat and veg.
And even when you were leaving the witches, you chose not to go back in the chapel to speak to them. You were like, no, we'll grab Anna. And then they spoke to you and were like, we'll see you very soon. And you were like, you fucking will see me soon.
Yeah, you're damn fucking right.
So, do you know what I mean? Those character changing moments. And obviously, you got to look forward to the big city. So we're going to go into a massive walled city in the next campaign with lots of stuff going on inside the city because it's controlled by Radovid, who we established hates non-humans. And unfortunately, you're a party of non-humans.
Right there.
So it's going to be interesting how that plays out. But I've got lots of stuff that's going to go on.
I feel like punch-ons are plenty in this place.
Punch-ons are plenty. There's lots of quirky...
Hoods everywhere.
There's lots of quirky missions and stuff that's going to take place inside this city before you obviously get to the main storyline. There's so many
I am
variations.
interested about the Wild Hunt as well.
The Wild Hunt, yeah, we only touched upon them very briefly. You only fought one Wild Hunt soldier and you had a level 10 witch with you when you did, which was the only reason you really won. But that's why I put him in there. I wanted to show the strength of the Wild Hunt, but go, you're all right at the minute, but now you know.
Yeah.
Who would have known? Not me.
But they come up more prominent later on.
So what's your favourite bit from each of our characters then? From what we started at, what single moment was your favourite from each character?
It would be your interaction with the Baron at the end. At the very end, when you dropped her off and you played into what the Dryad had told you. The Dryad had told you your emotions are still locked in there somewhere. They haven't been eradicated. And then you chose to actually confront him and say, this is your opportunity. Because, as I said, as a Witcher, and especially the kind of Witcher you were at the start of the game, you would have gone, there's that. Give me some money. Give me the information I want. I'm going. But throughout, you'd clearly started to change. Only slightly, very subtly.
Yeah.
Because you still didn't
and even resort to violence every single time.
Again, with the werewolf, there was those subtle moments with the werewolf, the guy, when he was like, leave the woman with me, I'm going to kill her, and then you can have my head, I don't care. And instead you were like, no, I'm not going to let you kill her, even though she did die, obviously, in the end, which is what she wanted. But even then, you were like, I'm not going to kill you. You're not even that bad. You literally lock yourself away and don't harm people. So why would I kill you? You're not a monster, in my eyes.
Yeah.
Which a Witcher would be like, you're a werewolf, you're a monster. But you were like, no, I can see your actions behind that. Which was a good character developing moment, I think. My favourite Dimdish scene. Dimdish established himself very late on, I'd say, as the greedy character. But the moment he really... You caught me off guard was when you killed the man, the poor man who stole one of your bottles of beer. Oh, no, backpack. He took your entire backpack.
Yeah, he ran off with the backpack,
He ran off with your backpack.
I was drinking the beer at the
that's
fountain.
That's right, yeah. But the man that ran off with your backpack that you chose to, instead of chase down and collect your gear back, you were like, no, I'm just going to kill him off. That's it. Done.
Took my shit.
You know, and obviously I was like, this is a man that was bottom of the rung. He had nothing. And the only reason he was stealing is because he had nothing. And you were like, I don't care. Don't touch my stuff.
I know what the Witcher world is.
Yeah.
And the Witcher world is you took my shit.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a cruel and harsh place. And that's what I wanted to create the illusion of, is that everybody in this world is fucked, basically, and out for themselves. And everyone's pretty greedy and or they need help, but don't really thank you for that help either. Do you know what I mean? That you never get great rewards for what you do. In fact, you guys received fuck all, really, throughout this whole campaign.
Not a lot.
Like, reward-wise, I mean, the first Devil in the Well mission you took, you turned around to the guy and, as a party, went, we don't even want your money, because it was the dowry to his daughter, and you guys were like, no, leave it for the kid. But you took no money there. I mean, most of the time you took no money.
Pretty much.
In pretty much everything you did, you took the contract for the Griffin, you took that money. But
blacksmith.
even then, you through gritted teeth, you took that money. Because at the time, the guy was whipping a farmer. And you were like, this is wrong, and this money feels wrong. So even through gritted teeth, you took the reward. So, you know, as a party,
Literally.
you made fuck all. The only money you really made was when he sold your car.
I made a hearty profit.
Yeah.
When he sold the
didn't.
part that also contained a gland of a griffin, arch griffin, that was worth thousands of gold.
Could have been anything. If it's on the cart, it's getting
Could
sold.
have happened to anyone.
Could have happened to anyone.
Meeting the king was a good moment for me as well. When Fran's hat finally kicked in and tried to attack. The first time she tried to attack somebody with a hat on, she couldn't fight it, was the king.
Yeah.
Of all the people.
Dragged out the room.
One of my favorite
Got dragged out the room.
One of my favourite moments for the campaign was the realisation when we were going up there, and it was a me realisation and my character. I made sure my character realised it, that we were about to go into a room and the king has a hat. That's not a good thing when we've clearly established that she's got a thing where a hat doesn't like other hats, and I was like, oh no, this is not. And I could see it. I felt it in me jellies that this was the time where she wasn't going to get it.
I like the brutalness you showed as well with the man who asked you to go into the swamp to find his cart.
Oh, yeah.
Cart in brackets, because he actually was a soldier from the White Lilies, I believe, who actually tried to steal a load of stuff.
Yep.
And he was also after a box that you found that you never opened up to see what the contents were.
Yeah.
Because you just gave them straight to the captain of the guard, which was interesting, because I thought you'd open it, but you didn't. Which is fine.
No.
Which
Contract is a contract is a
absolutely.
contract.
But the fact that when he explained himself to you, you were like, I'm going to cut your head off. You've literally lied to me.
You almost killed me.
And almost killed me.
Yeah.
Because he was also the one that triggered the monsters. Because you dragged him into the swamp and then he screamed and ran.
But
and
that's
the
the
monsters
brutal witchiness.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what I wanted from the world as well, though. Is that brutal? When I forced you to give up one of your Witcher potions to potentially save a woman from the poison of a griffin.
Yeah.
You'll find out the repercussions of that as well. That will come up.
What about Fran? What's your favourite moment from Fran?
Her interactions with the hat have always been the best moments for her, I think. Personally, that and hence
it
why
is the King's Chamber.
Hence
that
why
was,
the King's Chamber was a brilliant
moment. It was
moment.
so easy to picture that in your head, like the theatre of your mind, that happening. Just this woman being dragged out, arguing with her hat, constantly that
Saying
no one else can
me.
hear. It sounded like a lunatic.
Saying it's not me, it's the hat. It's the hat.
Absolutely.
Looking at me and saying help, 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 and I'm like, oh, for God's
The
sake.
seduction scene was horrendous from
That
her.
was hilarious.
In a funny way. In the sense of, you sent her in to seduce the fucking giant hunter guy, and it was the most unseductive thing. But I put sexy music to it, that it just played off brilliantly to be this ultimate failure, that this guy was just like, are we going to bone or not? Like, like, what are you doing?
And then you took your shirt off.
And then she was like, I am not a prostitute. And it's like, what the fuck? You've literally just been trying to seduce him to help. And now when he's like, let's just do it then. You're like, no, sir. Me? How about you die fighting a griffin and then I might fuck you? Like, they were good.
Maybe as well.
Yeah, it was a maybe. It was like, what the fuck?
That was funny. And the fact that when it got to that point, you just went, I take my clothes off. I was like...
Yeah, no, when he came over to speak to you, you were like, oh, I see where this is going. I take my shirt off. And it was as far away from what was happening.
I'm exploring the world. The world.
There were just small funnies in there that just really helped sort of catapult the campaign when it needed it, I think.
Any frustrating points? Got any frustrating points? That's from for everyone, really.
Anything different that you would have changed?
No.
No?
No. I kind of...
Was there any moments that frustrated you as a player where you wish you'd done something different or changed anything?
Not really, no, because the decisions, I knew what I would do.
Yeah.
But the decision I've got to make is what my character would do. So you can be frustrated with all the decisions. I knew full well that it was a forest spirit.
Yeah.
But I knew my character would not know that.
And I didn't give the information to work it out either.
And it would... Even though it was blatantly obvious, and to listeners it's blatantly obvious, but what we've got to do is stick to what our character would do, not what we would do with all the information we've got. Which is the sign
of good role-playing.
Yeah. So, no frustrations, nothing I changed.
Are you not frustrated that he sold the cart?
No, I think it drove a wedge that's still there.
Okay. Yeah, because if you think about it, your interactions with Dimdish have been very limited at best. Yeah,
limited.
I mean, you spoke very briefly in the village of Crookback, but that was because you had no choice.
We had to.
Yeah,
I mean, I saved his life, but we're not going to go there.
We don't worry about that.
Yeah, don't worry about that one.
Any frustrations for you?
Yeah, I have. When he got a natural 20 on his fucking roll for the kid.
For Ashley.
Little Ashley.
The one that you said you'd save.
Yeah, I'd send him in a portal.
You genuinely forgot.
Yeah, I genuinely forgot.
Because
I got the worst memory on the planet.
I will say this now, right now.
You believe him?
2 weeks before, and when we left, when we done the campaign that week, I turned to you and I went, he's forgot about the kid. And I'm going to make sure I bring it up, and we'll see how he reacts. And the fact that you got a natural 20,
Nat 20
so
baby.
I believe that you...
The most critical Nat 20 in the campaign so far.
He had a plan. No, you got a Nat 20 for kicking open a door that I said was a complete waste of time because it was open anyway.
Yeah, but that Ashley Nat 20 was absolutely critical.
But the Ashley one, to lie to Dimdish that you have a plan all along, so don't worry, don't question me.
He's got to learn the meaning of hard work first.
And he literally was like, I will never question you again, Witcher. You've always got a plan.
Always got a plan.
It was the moment in that episode when I'm talking to you and then you're like, no, I'm going back to him. Okay, fair enough. No, that's fine. Completely believe him at that moment.
Still washing dishes.
Washing dishes, collecting glasses.
And will forever.
Well, until the crippling disease that riddles his body claims his life.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we don't worry about that.
We don't worry about that one.
Ashley who?
Ashley who? It's going to stay in my notes. Oh, he also could have asked, when you pretended to be coy as well.
With what?
With Yennefer. That you called her something completely
yeah. I don't know what it was, but yeah.
Yasmin.
You're Yasmin, I presume. But it was like, no, I'm Jennifer, and you went, I'm playing that off as me just being coy. There were some good funny moments. I really, really stuck with me was you and the hunter when you were asking him to come and fight with you, and I was like, no, and then I was like, but bring me the head back, and you're like, no. Fair enough. Like, this is a manly chat that's just brilliant. It just makes sense. It was just like...
Two alpha males, that's all that was.
And it made so much sense. They were funny moments that just made sense. The character who I had to come up with on the spot, her name, and you were like, well, let's remember that in 3 sessions' time. And I was like, well, she's never coming back again. Yeah, she's out back, she burst. Like, they were just brilliant.
The cultist leader.
The cultist leader.
When he lets them go outside, that was hilarious.
When he was floating and you were like, I take him outside and release him into the atmosphere.
Yep.
Like, there were just good, subtle moments of just comedy. The whole episode around the werewolf guy. and you guys just being sus.
We knew!
And Dimdish, I'd like to study your face. And it was just like, what are you on about? Subtle moments. Why are you judging me? Because we're judgy people. Like, it's just, they were brilliant little moments that just, like, they offered that comedy aspect that we wanted to just introduce slightly.
You got to reset the palate. You got to have that little bit of ginger with the
100%.
sushi. That's what you got to do.
And they were the funny bits. Like when
In every episode, we tried to do a funny in that point somewhere.
It's natural.
Yeah, when it was natural. That's when we did it. When it was natural, you put a funny in.
I was trying to think when we were trying to have a wash as well.
Well,
I didn't try and have a wash.
There was scenes
I've
when Fran's character was bathing and you sat on the riverbank and watched her.
Yeah.
And Dimdish was like, what are we doing? Oh, I see what we're doing. All right, I sit down as well.
My massive cock was not in my hand. I see nothing wrong.
His D16. Unfortunately.
It was one of the...
I checked his dice. They were all 16, apparently. No. He rolled a 16 on his penis. Fair enough.
I wish I had
Down to
used
me
my
knee.
inspiration to make it reroll.
2.
Centimetres.
No, but there's so many bits that were enjoyable, funny, sad, stupid.
The turkey leg in the bath, yeah.
Turkey leg in the bath was brilliant. Having the whole interaction with the Nilfgaard, with the Nilfgaardian captain, when you were like, with the Witcher.
The whipping scenes.
Me and the captain.
When you threw the apple at the captain guard and I got a natural one to catch it. And it just hit the captain of the guard in the face with a wet apple. Like, it's just things that happen that wouldn't happen without the dice.
They giveth and they taketh.
They do.
I mean, that was the captain and me, where I'm standing there going, you don't even have to do that. It's like... It's the moment where the guy with the whip.
It was more for me.
It's Monty Python.
It is, yeah. The guy who wants to be whipped. Have you whipped the other guy? Yes, I've already whipped him. I whipped the Witcher as well. Why not? And you come out with a self-justice of, I've just taken
I took 10 for him.
That you didn't need to take.
And it's the fact that I look at the captain and the captain looks at me at that moment and I'm like, alright, whatever, let's carry on. Let's just move on. That was a brilliant moment.
I'm looking forward to going forward with it for my own development as well. So now that I've got that first season out the way, I feel like season 2 will be even better for me.
Do you feel more confident?
Absolutely. I wasn't actually that nervous going in, luckily. And I like to think that come across, considering that was my first ever campaign as a dungeon master. So I feel like I did a pretty good job considering, but I think it's going to be better going forward. I think the city doing Novigrad season 2 is going to be better for all of us. I think we know how we want our characters to be.
Absolutely, I've got
skin.
ideas. I came in with nothing because I know nothing about The Witcher.
Yep.
But
you've got a grasp of the world itself now.
And just where I want him to go.
Yeah, which I think will then show and make the role play so much better as well going forward from all of us. Because we've all got that inner thing that the Dryad has given us now as well. The Dryad saying, like, it's your choice, to Dimdish, his character saying, it's your choice. I can see the greed that you've got, but I can also see inside the healing spirit that is in you. Don't let the greed take over. That wasn't her saying, be that healing guy. It's her saying, don't let it take over, because it could. And then it's his choice then as to what direction he takes his character.
Yeah.
And it was the same with everybody. It was the same with when the Dryad spoke to Fran's character, to Ren, and was literally like, I can see the doubt inside you. Be confident. And I also wanted to bring Fran into that and go, now I've got to make
she needs pulling back in.
Yeah, I want to make my character more confident now. Because I've been told now by a spirit that I need to come forward and be more confident, and hopefully that'll show as well. Because that's what I want from all of you, is to know your character and to know the direction you want to go.
I do.
And I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to next season.
So what's going on next season, though, guys? We probably...
Well, we'll do a quick talk about next...
preeminent.
Next week. Obviously, we promised Pokemon. But we've U-turned on Pokemon.
It's on hold.
It's on
hold. There's a few issues, so we'll put it on the back burner. It's still there.
We want the campaign to be right, because we don't want to be cliche. We're going to have tropes in there. It's a given. It's Pokemon. We want the tropes. but we don't want it to be too cliche. We want it to be unique because that's what we want our show to be.
I have let them know, guys, a very, very rough outline of where we're going. And I know where I'd like the campaign to go, but it will need some polishing, and it needs a little bit more work on it. So Grayson has very honourably decided to take on the mantle.
Honourably. I have.
So, what are we doing next?
We're going to DC Comics. We're going to play some fucking superheroes.
I mean, we're already heroes. It's fine. To our fans. The whole two of them. Plus Fran.
Well, on that note.
So we're going to go and be superheroes.
So next week, we're going to do an intro episode.
Yeah, details of the world, and
world.
We'll set it up, and
you'll meet our characters.
Yeah.
Shall I have the return? Do I do the return?
No.
No.
it's the return we don't need.
It's probably best not. Not unless you're going
So
to change one vital word.
So look forward to the next campaign.
I'll tell you what, I will. I'll change it.
Okay.
So stay tuned and watch your favourite summoning boys become superheroes. And on that note, it's time for us to chuff off. All you summoners can join us next time for the introduction to our brand new campaign on how not to summon a Dungeon Master. If you've got any questions or queries or just want to see what we're up to, you can find us on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook at How Not to Summon, or join our Discord at How Not to Summon a Podcast, or go to our link tree where you can find all our links.
There we go.
You can edit that bit out, it's fine.
It's you.
It's me.
He's telling his future self.
Remember, Dick. I've been Sheeny Senpai.
I've been Jim.
I've been Grayson.
See you later, guys.
I've been Fran.
Ta-ra.
See ya.